Alright, so finally an update for the JP tier list, adding the Attack on Titan units, which aren't even available anymore, but you know, have to add them. And the summer units that just came out. I've, you know, used all of these units a lot to be able to rank them, and I think I have a firm ranking of them. I mean, honestly, most of these are pretty obvious, but it's my opinion nonetheless. Take a look at what they do first, because I know a lot of people don't know. Honestly, Attack on Titan, the characters are about to come out on Global, so, you know, you might want to take a look at what I talk about these characters. But to be honest, they might be better on Global than they were in JP. On JP, these characters are just very outdated. It really seems like characters that should have come out like maybe 4 months ago. So yeah, speaking first about Arron, because he's the most interesting one, the green one, SSR Arron, the first transformation in the game. And how good is he? I would say he's an S rank unit. Now, let me explain. I don't think he deserves to be bumped up to SS. And I'll talk about some of the changes I did real quick, but I don't think he deserves to be bumped up to SS. He's just not very good. Like, you need him to be 6 out of 6 to even function. Because if he's 1-6, his Titan transformation is just bad. There's something about the Titan transformation that just doesn't sit right with me. So, if you don't know, upon using the ultimate, he transforms into a Titan. And that will give him new cards. He gets the same attack sets as Red Escanor. The same ones. And he gets pretty much the same stats, because if you have him at 1-6, he gets a 10% attack, defense, and HP boost. If you have it at 6-6, then he gets a 35%. But if you have him at 1-6, honestly, Red Escanor has more stats. Like, you might as well use Red Escanor. So, big yikes. It's something about this transformation that just isn't good, because you have to use an ultimate to do that first. Like, you know how strong ultimates are in this game? You literally can win a game just by using a King ultimate. What do you prefer, to use an Arron ultimate that transforms, or a King ultimate? Tell me. It's the King ultimate, it's so much better. So that just really throws me off. But when he transforms, he can be super good. He can do a lot of damage. I gave him UR gear to test him, and he was doing really good with Super Awakening UR gear. But the commitment for him to be doing like that, it just wasn't worth it, you know? So his Titan form was very underwhelming for what it should represent, you know? Being the first transformation in the game, you would think that he would, you know, be insane, but not really. Hoping the next few transformation units in the game, they do better, honestly. So I'm keeping him at the S tier. Oh yeah, let me talk real quick. I did bump down both Escanors. As it is, they're just not good. Like, maybe Red Escanor, the meta just... I tried using Green Escanor. I was gonna make a video if Green Escanor is still viable, and it was so sad I just deleted. Because you just can't use him anymore on PvP. I mean, yeah, you can say, oh, I use him on Masters, yeah. You can't use him on higher ranks, and that's where I play, right? You can't use him on Challenger, you can't use him on Masters 1 on Gear, you just can't. So... And that was his main focus. So if it's for both Escanors that I'm talking, it's for both. Like when I was doing my mono red teams on JP, when Global got mono red, I was trying it out again. I was getting a lot of good matches, but I was getting a lot of terrible matches as well. Like it's just, if you face the meta team, it's impossible to win really. Like if the other player is somewhat decent at thinking, you're just gonna lose. So. Yeah, really want to bump him. They really had to bump him down. Okay, I was gonna bump Gopher down, but Easton came out, and now he's God tier again. Before even couldn't bump him down. I had the source bump down, but the recent PvE activity Tower of Challenge was so good for him that I had to put him in God tier. So good. So, and I refuse to bump down Fraugen still. I'll keep him right there, but honestly, he has been seeing lots of downgrades with the meta, so keep that in mind. Yeah, so Moving on, SR Arron. Honestly, probably one of the best SRs in the game, if not the best SR in the game. He is just a mini Darriere. He has the same buff card as hers, and his ultimate has Shatter, which does so much damage. Honestly, I know this is a JP tier list, but when this comes out on global, he's gonna be a free 6 out of 6, right? I highly recommend level 8ing him. He is gonna be super fun to use. Like, not because he's super strong. Don't expect him to be like the best thing ever, but he's gonna be super fun. Does increase damage against unknown by 30%, so Gopher, and his type advantage against Gopher. So he's gonna be really good. He's gonna be really fun. And honestly, with my experience using him, I would say he is like probably the best star in the game. Oh yeah, I want to bump down Gil Thunder because no one does extreme raise anymore, and that was his only use really. So I would say that he's really good, really good. So I'll put him in S tier as well. Probably the best star in the game. Moving on, Levi. Now, my boy, only pulled 2 copies of you. Unlucky, because you're the unit that I wanted the most. He is probably the best of the bunch of the Attack on Titan units. His passive is just what Zeldris always wished to have. This hero will always crit against enemy that has the lowest leftover HP. Which means, if there's only one enemy, he will always crit that enemy, and his card has Spike, which doubles crit damage. He does a very good amount of damage on his attack card. This one. This AoE card is kind of trash. He has the same attack skills as Blue Zeldris, right? But his ultimate cancel buffs and stances. If he had Spike on his ultimate, got tier. But no, so unlucky. I would say he's the best of the bunch. I really want to, but I know it's not true. I really want to, but I know deep in my heart that he doesn't deserve it. So I'll keep it on the S tier for now. But I really want to give him the SS tier. You have no idea. You have no idea. But he is really fun. Unfortunately, more than, you know, just being used for fun, for some PvE activities, he doesn't have anything that he's going to be incredible at. Like, he's not going to be the best for Crimson or anything, but just a solid unit that's always going to crit in a single target. It's really good. Mikasa is the worst waste of potential you could ever think a unit could have. Her passive is super strong. For each other ally that receives damage when attacked, increase their hero stats by 3%. That's all the stats. All of them. In stacks up to 10, so she can max out extra 30% pierce rate, resistance, everything. Life steal, and her ult increases basic stats like Gallon. It's the same ult as Gallon by 50%. Why is it a waste of potential? Because her cards suck. Bleed, terrible multipliers, awful multipliers with Bleed, and this Secret Technique is just not good. Like, Secret Technique is as itself is a bad, like, blue effect. It only works on Lost Vein because his is very different. For each time you give him a dupe, it increases the thing, right? It increases the multiplier on it. So that's why it's so good. But on hers, it's only 20%. It's just... she's just not very good. It's just such a waste of potential. Her passive is amazing, but it doesn't complement the terrible cards. Unfortunate. Really unfortunate, because I have her 6/6. I would definitely super awaken her if she had the better cards. Oh, it was so good. But unfortunately not. I might regret this, but I'm giving her the A tier. She's the worst waste of potential ever. It's just so sad. Like, honestly, she could have been SS to God tier if her cards were good. Legitimately could have. But no. And she's good for long activities. Like, she was actually pretty decent for the Bond Super boss, but Blue SR Arthur was a better option, so I don't know what that tells you, so... Anyways, now to the new most recent units, Easton and Valenti. Let's start with Easton because it's more interesting. Easton is what I was hoping for. She is what finally is the counter to Lost Vein King and Elizabeth. And that alone gives her God tier. I'm not joking. I gave her UR gear. You can check back on the log on my channel. I gave her UR gear. I gave her Super Awakening. Might give her 6/6. I don't know. She is so good. I've been playing with her on PvP a lot. She is so good. She has so many potential teams she can be used on as well. She is just so good on PvP. Weak point was buffed. Now, if the enemy has a debuff, you can do 900%. And because of her passive, let's say you use her level 3 card, right? Let's say you got lucky, and you got to go for rank ups turn 1, and you double rank her up level 3, you're gonna have 9 debuffs on the enemy, so you're gonna max her passive, get the actual 40% crit damage and crit chance, and if your weak point hits triple crits, it's just insane damage. You one-shot anyone. It's just so good. So good, especially on geared. On geared, you one-shot anyone. It's just so good. And her ultimate is pretty good as well. It's not the craziest, but it's pretty good as well. But it's the whole, like, sealing the ultimate gauge and sealing the recovery skill. That's all we needed to counter that team, pretty much. Yes, you kind of need a little bit of commitment for her. Because if you're using her, you need to go first. I've had matches where I went second, and it wasn't very pretty. So, you're kind of gonna need to go first. But still, absolute unit. Super good, super great, love her. Now, she's very mediocre. Valente is very mediocre. Like, it's just how it is. Like, her, I really want to give her B tier. I'm not, because I don't think she's as bad as anyone here. I think she's a little bit better, but like, her passive is just garbage. She was a unit designed specifically for the Bond super boss. And I hate units that are designed for that because they always turn out bad for other activities. Applies in fact when the enemy uses a buff skill. That's literally just to not allow Bond from healing when he uses a buff. And then detonate. It's because the enemies have a lot of ultimate gauge. And then pervades ultimate gauge because they get a lot of ultimate gauge and their ultimate is super annoying. Like, she's literally designed for that raid, and she ends up having a terrible kit for other activities. Now, maybe in the future there will be activities where she's good for, but as it is, I can't see any. Like, she's just mid. She's just lower than mid, which is upsetting, because I 6/6'd her before I 6/6'd Easton, so unlucky. But it is what it is. Easton, great job. Great job. I mean, I can't derank Lost Vein, Elizabeth, and King yet because they are still the meta team. You are a counter meta team, but it's similar to how Valente was to Diamelli and Lilia. Diamelli and Lilia are still gods here at the time, right? They were still gods here, but Valente was still countering them. So it's pretty much the same way it is right now. The Lost Vein, the King, and the Elizabeth combo is still gods here, but the Easton is countering them, which is really good. So yeah, that's the update on the tier list. Now, some people ask me why $sign Fraugen and regular Fraugen. This is Fraugen if you don't fully buy his costumes, give you war gear, and super awaken him. This is Fraugen if you do. There's a big difference. Alright, that's it. Thank you guys for watching.